If your clients aren't making progress, if parents are questioning the plan, if your team feels frustrated or checked out, what if the problem isn't you, but the way that you've been taught to do ABA? ABA is evolving, and what used to be considered best practice isn't always what's best anymore. In this video, I'm breaking down 3 clear signs that your ABA strategies are outdated and what to do instead if you want to stay aligned with the future of this field. Because the truth is, compliance isn't the goal, connection is. So let's get into it. The first sign is that you prioritize compliance over autonomy. For decades, ABA focused on one thing above all else, and that was compliance. We were trained to reinforce following directions, to fade prompts, to reduce problem behavior. And if the client sat still, followed instructions, and didn't protest, that was considered a win. But here's the problem. Compliance isn't the same as progress. In fact, sometimes it's just the opposite. If a client follows every direction but can't make a choice, speak up, or say no, have we really taught them anything that's meaningful? Modern ABA rewrites the goal altogether from obedience to ownership. We're asking different questions. Does this skill help the client advocate for themselves? Is the client participating because they want to, or just because that's what they've been trained to? Are we teaching real life flexibility or just creating quiet classrooms? When you prioritize autonomy, you create space for clients to have a voice. You offer choices, you welcome feedback, and you respond to withdrawal, not with more reinforcement, but with curiosity. So try this next time. Next time your client pauses or walks away mid-task, say, "That's okay. What feels better right now?" Then pause and see what happens. Because the best BCBAs today are not training rule followers, they're supporting independent thinkers. And here's the part that no one wants to admit. Even if you believe in autonomy, your system might not support it. If your sessions feel scripted, your goals feel generic, and your clients are just going through the motions, it might not be your philosophy that needs to shift. It might be your programming. And if you've ever felt like your sessions don't reflect what really matters to your clients, what's coming next is for you. So the second sign is that your programs look the same for every client. And let's be honest, when you're juggling a full caseload, supervision, team meetings, and endless documentation, it's tempting to grab a goal bank or recycle an old program just to keep things moving along. But that's not true ABA. That's just survival. If you pulled out your last 5 treatment plans and noticed the same goals, the same prompting hierarchies, and the same reinforcement schedules, that's a red flag because real behavior analysis is rooted in individualization, not just on a data sheet, but in the real, messy, beautiful complexity of their lives. So here's the truth. A goal isn't individualized just because you inserted the client's name. A plan isn't responsive if it follows the same sequence every time. And if you're choosing strategies based on convenience rather than client context, you're not adapting, you're replicating. Modern ABA isn't about running clients through a protocol. It's about co-creating solutions with the client and their support system. It means looking at motivation through a cultural lens. It means building plans around the client's values, not just their deficits. And it means being flexible enough to pivot, especially when something isn't working. So try this. Pick one program this week and ask, is this something I'd write if I only knew this client, not the template? And rewrite that if you need to. So ask yourself, am I programming based on what matters to this individual? Have I adjusted this plan based on what I've learned from the client, not just what I've done in the past? And would the client or their family recognize themselves in this plan? If the answer is no, it's time to rethink the way you design and deliver care. Because individualized ABA isn't just best practice, it's what makes this work meaningful. But Even with perfect programming, if your clients don't feel safe, heard, and respected, it still might fall flat. You're not centering assent and collaboration. That's the third sign. If a client resists, disengages, or tries to leave the session, what's your first instinct? Do you increase reinforcement, ramp up prompting, redirect, and keep going? For a long time, that was the norm. We were trained to get through the program no matter what. But here's the truth. If your approach doesn't include assent, if it doesn't involve the client in the process, you're not just missing a best practice, you're missing the point. Assent isn't about compliance, it's about connection. It's about recognizing that our clients are people with preferences, boundaries, and the right to say no, even when they're non speaking, even when they're young, even when it's inconvenient. And when we don't build collaboration into our sessions, we lose the most powerful tool we have, and that's engagement. Modern ABA doesn't just tolerate client input, it depends on it. So try this. Before a session starts, ask, is there something you'd like to do today? Something that you don't want to do? Then actually listen to what the client says. That means we pause when a client disengages. We offer choices. We get curious instead of controlling. We adapt even when it's not written into the plan because we're not here to force learning. We're here to support it. And the clients who trust you, who feel seen, heard, and safe are the ones who grow the most. So if your current model doesn't leave room for collaboration, it's not just outdated, it's ineffective. So here's the big question. Are you evolving with the field or just doing what you've always done? If any of these signs hit a little too close to home, you're not alone. Most of us were trained in systems that prioritize compliance, standardization, and control. But ABA is changing, and the BCBAs who thrive in the next 5 to 10 years are the ones who are willing to change with it. They prioritize autonomy. They individualize their approach. They build sessions around assent and collaboration. If that's the kind of BCBA you're becoming, keep on going. These shifts don't happen overnight, but they're worth it. And if you're looking for what comes next, watch this video. Burnt Out BCBAs are rebuilding the future of ABA. It dives into the bigger picture, the burnout, the frustration, the system itself, and what it really takes to build a career you believe in. You'll find the link on the screen and in the description because the best BCBAs, they're not stuck in the past. They're building what's next.